The manual transmission in my 2020 Tacoma is actually getting better. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. That's right, the manual transmission in my Toyota Tacoma is actually getting better. You know, when I first got the truck, I put some videos out. I talked about the manual transmission in this Tacoma, about how I was, quite honestly, a little bit disappointed. You know, it wasn't sports car-like enough for me. I know, crazy way to think about it, right? It is a truck. I mean, I know that, I understand that, but I have expectations, right? I mean, I've driven a lot of sports cars in my life, a lot of manual transmissions, and by far the best is Honda, and that's still true. Honda has, now that's excluding, you know, the more high-end things, the supercars and things that I've driven, they are pretty darn nice. But for the normal pedestrian, everyday manual transmissions, Honda has it down, and I kind of use that as a benchmark, I guess, whenever I drive anything else. And my mistake in doing that, and I'll admit it, is I really shouldn't probably be comparing the Toyota Tacoma, its manual transmission, to the Honda, because it's just a different animal. It is a truck, even though I do still believe that it should be a little bit better, and that indeed it should be a little bit more Honda-like. But anyway, it has been improving. Now, maybe it's just me, maybe I've gotten used to it. Even that crazy reverse location, you know, over to the left and up, crazy place to put it. I think it should be over to the right and down, but I have gotten used to that. No more do I sit at a stoplight, you know, and go into first gear and accidentally end up in reverse. Pretty scary for the people behind me when my reverse lights come on, and I start to go backwards just a little bit. I don't do that anymore. But I gotta say, there are some sweet spots in this transmission. You know, I'm used to going all the way through the gears. You know, when you're on a road that's 35 to 55 mile an hour, you know, my mindset has always been that, at least at 55, that you need to be in 6th gear. You know, that's the top gear. It's as far as you can go, and you should be in 6th gear, just cruising right along, and it should be nice and smooth. But that's wrong. It's not true for the Tacoma, at least not my Tacoma. And I do believe manual transmissions vary in each different truck. I think they all have their little nuances. But anyway, what I have discovered is there is a sweet spot. The Tacoma does not like first gear, first of all. I don't know many manuals that do. First gear is generally short, it's just to get you moving, and you probably could even bypass it altogether in the Tacoma and just use 2nd gear. And speaking of 2nd gear, it's not too great either. Where you really start to get into the fun and a little more power with the Tacoma is 3rd and 4th gears, or are 3rd and 4th gears. They're really the sweet spots in the Toyota Tacoma. I mean, when you're in 3rd gear and you're cruising along, you've got a little bit left. You know, you can really run it out pretty far. But the sweet spot is 4th gear. My Tacoma loves 4th gear. And 4th gear is very capable when you're above about 35 miles an hour. You've got a lot more in the power band that you can utilize in 4th gear. I'm traveling at 50 right now, up to 55. Still feels really, really good, and there's a lot left. I mean, if I wanted to get on it, and we will just a second here. If I wanted to get on it, I could probably get up to about 60, 65. We got a biker who wants to join me here. Not a good idea. But anyway, you can probably ramp it up. Let's just check it out here. I mean, I'm doing 55 now, 60, and 65 now, and I'm in 4th gear. And I don't really have to shift. I mean, ideally, you would at least get into 5th. But 4th gear is very versatile in the Toyota Tacoma, in the manual transmission. It gives you a lot of leeway. I mean, you can get down to, you know, again, in the 30s. I wouldn't go much below 30 probably, but it's very capable from about 30 mile an hour on up to 65. You'd be probably pushing it at 70. You really ought to get into fifth gear at that speed. But you could. Now, what is sixth gear for? Sixth gear, again, for me, the mindset has always been that you want to get through the gears if you're in a higher speed road. You want to get through the gears and be in sixth gear just to cruise. And you don't necessarily have to do that, nor maybe should you do that in the Tacoma. It's more than capable and more than comfortable driving along at speed in fifth gear. I think that when you're in sixth gear, you also lose a little bit of your capability, a little bit of the fun factor. Because if you get on the gas pedal, the accelerator, and you're cruising in sixth gear, you're not going to get much out of it. It's not like it's going to really take off or jump. Not like it does, again, in fourth gear, or even fifth if you're starting to get near the top of its capability, the top of its power band. So sixth gear really is just for nice, leisurely freeway cruising, I think, in the Tacoma. You're out there, you're on a long distance trip, and you don't really need to be doing anything, more aggressive. You're just driving down the road, nice and relaxing. Sixth gear is where you want to be. But I think for the most part, probably ought to stay out of sixth gear. I need to stay out of sixth gear. Sixth gear is not for me in the Tacoma, Now your gas mileage, it might suffer a little bit because obviously the higher or harder you run the truck, the worse the gas mileage is going to be. And it's not that the Tacoma gets great gas mileage to begin with. So if you're sensitive or cognizant of that, you might actually want to run through the gears a little bit more and utilize the range that you have, keeping in mind that you're going to lose a bit of the fun factor in doing that, I think. And a lot of people, I get some people that comment on the channel again, it's a truck, it's not supposed to be fun, it's more utilitarian. You're supposed to be able to haul stuff and work with it and all that. Well, I disagree. Every vehicle I buy, every vehicle I have, I like to enjoy. I like to have fun in it. If I can't do that, then it's really not for me. And I'll give you an example. Years ago, a few years ago, I bought a Honda Civic Si. Now, this wasn't the modern generation. And it was a dog, man. Of course, it was a manual transmission. And the way they had that thing set up is in order to get any fun out of it, you had to be so high in the RPMs that to me, it just didn't feel good. It felt like I was running the engine too hard, So I dumped it. I had it 2 months. I had bought it new, took a hit on that one. And I made a mistake. I bought a vehicle that really didn't suit what I was looking for. Wasn't capable enough for the way that I wanted to drive it. Again, all personal preference. Again, I am very happy with it. I do still wish, to be quite honest, that it was a little bit more Honda-like. But that's okay. It is what it is. It is fun to drive. It satisfies that manual transmission need that really is a lot of the reason why I got this truck. I missed having a manual transmission. Anyway, leave a comment down below, particularly if you drive a manual Tacoma. Did you notice that? Was there a bit of a learning curve before you really got comfortable in it and it really became fun for you to drive? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, it's shameless plug time. Don't forget, check out my other channel if you want to. It is RobMotive JT, all about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And if you would, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching, happy shifting, and stay safe out there. Bye.